Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you've built a website, and now you're kind of wondering, okay, how do people actually find this thing? If that sounds familiar, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to break down search engine optimization, or SEO, into a really simple step-by-step roadmap for 2026.
So let's just start with that big question. When somebody out there needs exactly what you offer, or they have a question that you can answer, how are they going to discover you in this giant sea of information we call the internet? Well, more often than not, the answer is search. And just how often is it search? Well, get this. A staggering 53% of all website traffic comes directly from organic search. That is more than half. It's not social media, it's not paid ads, it's just people typing something into a search bar. And that number, right there, is why understanding SEO isn't just a nice skill to have anymore, it's absolutely essential. All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with, what SEO even is. Then we'll take a peek inside the mind of a search engine. From there, we'll cover the 4 big pillars of SEO, get you set up with your very first actionable steps, and then we'll wrap up with a few common mistakes that are super easy to avoid once you know what they are. So what is SEO when you strip away all the jargon? At its heart, the goal is just simple. It's about getting free, consistent, and, this is key, highly relevant traffic to show up at your website month after month. It's about earning your spot at the top, not paying for it. And here's the more official definition. But what I really want you to notice here is that you're optimizing for 2 very different audiences. See, SEO is this constant balancing act. On one hand, you're making your site crystal clear for search engine bots. But on the other, you're delivering real, actual value to the human beings on the other side of that screen. And to do that well, you gotta understand how search engines think. So picture the world's biggest library, right? Search engines are kind of like the librarians. They are constantly out there discovering, cataloging, and then recommending the best possible books, or in our case, the best web pages for any given topic. Now, this whole process can seem like some mysterious black box, but it really just boils down to these 3 simple stages. First, these little bots crawl the web by following links from page to page. Then they index all the good pages they find, kind of like adding a card to the library's catalog. And finally, when you type in a search, their algorithms rank everything in that library to show you the most relevant results first. Simple as that. So how do they decide what's best? Well, if you only remember one concept from today, make it this one: search intent. It's not about the words someone types. It's all about the why behind those words. What is that person really trying to do? Understanding that, that's the secret sauce to ranking higher. And that why usually falls into one of these 4 buckets. You've got informational searches, like what is SEO? Someone just wants to learn. Then there's navigational, like trying to find a specific login page. Commercial intent is when they're comparing options. And transactional is, well, they're ready to buy something. Matching your content to the right intent is half the battle right there. Okay, let's move on to the core components of SEO. You can think of these as your beginner's toolkit. These are the 4 pillars that are going to hold up any successful SEO strategy you build. So the first 2 pillars are on-page and off-page SEO. Here's an easy way to think about it. On-page SEO is everything you do on your website. It's your content, your titles, the stuff you control. Off-page SEO, on the other hand, is all about building your reputation out there on the wider internet. Now for on-page SEO, if you're just starting out, focus right here. These are your quick wins. Your title tag is that blue clickable headline in the search results. The meta description is your little ad to convince someone to click. And header tags, they just organize your page and make it super easy for people and bots to read. All right, now for off-page SEO. This is where you hear a lot about backlinks, and honestly, this quote just nails it. When another website links to you, it's basically giving you a vote of confidence. It's telling the search engines, hey, this content over here, it's legit, you can trust it. So how do you get these votes? Well, you earn them. It starts by creating awesome content that other people actually want to link to. Maybe you get mentioned in an online article, or you write a guest post for another blog in your industry. It's all about building that reputation. Okay. Pillar number 3 is technical SEO, and I absolutely love this plumbing analogy. Think about it. You could have the most beautiful house in the world, but if the pipes are clogged or broken, the whole thing is useless. Same goes for your website. If the technical foundation is shaky, nothing else matters. And the most important technical factors all boil down to one thing: user experience. Does your site work perfectly on a phone? Does it load lightning fast? Is it secure? Search engines heavily reward websites that give their users a smooth, safe, and enjoyable experience. And finally, our fourth pillar is for anyone with a physical shop or a local service area. We're talking local SEO. And here, your priorities are super clear. Claim and beef up your free Google business profile, make sure your name, address, and phone number are exactly the same everywhere online, and get those customer reviews rolling in. Whew, okay, that was a lot of theory. So let's turn all of that knowledge into some real action. Here is a simple plan you can literally start working on like this afternoon. Here it is, your first SEO workflow. Step 1, find what's called a long tail keyword. That's just a fancy term for a specific multi-word phrase. Think how to fix a leaky kitchen sink instead of just plumbing. They're way less competitive, which is perfect for beginners. Step 2, create the absolute best, most helpful piece of content on the internet that answers that exact question. And step 3, use the free tool Google Search Console to see how you're doing. That's the loop. Find, create, track. Repeat. But wait, before you run off and get started, let's quickly cover a few common traps. These are the little mistakes that can stop your progress dead in its tracks. But the good news is, they have really, really simple fixes. Okay, here are 3 big ones. First, keyword stuffing. Just don't do it. That's where you jam your keyword in a million times. It's an old trick that doesn't work anymore. Just write naturally for a real person. Second, don't ignore mobile. Your site has to work perfectly on a phone, no excuses. And third, page speed. If your site is slow, people will leave. Easy fixes, compress your images. It makes a huge difference. And that brings us to the end of our roadmap. We've covered the what, the why, and the how. The only thing left now is the doing. So I'll leave you with this final thought to get you started. Based on everything we just talked about, what's the one